Can a foldable phone really be thinner than a regular smartphone? That's exactly what Samsung is trying to prove with its upcoming Galaxy Z Fold 7. And if the leaks are true, it could become the world's thinnest foldable phone ever made. Samsung has taken a lot of heat in the past for its foldable devices being bulky and thick compared to others in the market. But this year, it looks like they're flipping the script. According to a very reliable tipster known as Ice Universe, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 will measure just 3.9 millimeters thin when unfolded, and when folded, it will still be only 8.9 millimeters thick. To put that into perspective, it'll be thinner than any foldable phone we've seen so far, and even slimmer than many regular smartphones. Now, of course, making a phone this thin comes with some compromises. But surprisingly, Samsung isn't cutting corners on battery life. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 is expected to pack a 4400 mAh battery. That's quite decent for a foldable of this size. And Samsung is reportedly using new battery and charging technology to make it all work inside such a thin frame. This focus on slim designs isn't just limited to the Fold series. According to the same source, the upcoming Galaxy Z Flip 7 will also follow the same approach. It's said to come with a 4300 mAh battery, which was already confirmed through a certification listing last week. Samsung clearly wants to stay competitive, and their new strategy seems to be making thinner and lighter phones instead of going all out with massive battery sizes. This idea is expected to carry over to other models too. For example, the Galaxy S26 is also rumored to be designed as a slim phone, focusing on form rather than battery bulk. As for performance, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 will reportedly run on the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, which should offer top-tier speed and efficiency. Meanwhile, the Galaxy Z Flip 7 is rumored to use the Exynos 2500 chip, which could help Samsung cut costs in some regions without affecting overall performance much. Both foldables are expected to be announced in July 2025, and they'll launch with Android 16 and One UI 8.0 right out of the box. But that's not all. Samsung is also gearing up to release another ultra-thin smartphone, the Galaxy S25 Edge. A recent leak says it will be just 5.8 millimeters thin, making it one of the slimmest non-foldable phones ever made. This upcoming Galaxy S25 Edge will reportedly feature a 6.7-inch display, a 200-megapixel plus 12-megapixel dual rear camera setup, a 12-megapixel front camera, the same Snapdragon 8 Elite chip, 12 GBs of RAM, storage options of 256 or 512 GBs, and a 3900 mAh battery. Clearly, Samsung is going all in on sleekness this year, aiming to break design records while still keeping their performance and battery life in check. What if Apple started releasing new iPhones twice a year instead of just once? That might actually be happening soon. A new report suggests that Apple is seriously considering changing its iPhone launch strategy, and if this is true, it could be one of the biggest shifts the company has made in years. Right now, Apple usually releases all major iPhones in the fall, with the spotlight mainly on the high-end Pro models and a few other versions. It's been this way for more than a decade. But that could soon change. Apple is reportedly planning to adopt a biannual iPhone release cycle. In other words, we might start seeing new iPhones twice a year, once in the first half and again in the second half. The reason? Competition is heating up, especially in big markets like China, where other brands like Samsung and OnePlus are already rolling out new phones earlier in the year. If Apple joins them with spring launches, it could close the marketing gap, grab attention for a longer period, and spread out the spotlight between premium and budget models. Right now, everything comes out at once, and the cheaper phones often get ignored. So what's the timeline looking like? This year, it's business as usual. Apple is still expected to launch the iPhone 17 series in the fall, probably in September 2025. That includes the iPhone 17, 17 Pro, 17 Pro Max, and the new iPhone 17 Air, which might be a thinner or lighter model, similar to the iPad Air strategy. But starting in 2026, we might see a real change. In spring 2026, Apple may launch a more affordable iPhone called the iPhone 17e. That would be earlier than the usual timeline for budget iPhones, which have often arrived under the iPhone SE name every couple of years. Then, In late 2026, Apple is reportedly planning to launch a big wave of devices, possibly the iPhone 18 Pro, iPhone 18 Pro Max, and a new model like the iPhone 18 Slim or iPhone 18 Air. But here's where it gets interesting. The regular iPhone 18 might actually skip the fall launch and instead be released in early 2027, alongside the next iPhone 18e. So, yes, it sounds like Apple is breaking its old pattern, but it doesn't stop there. If everything goes according to plan, fall 2027 will bring the second generation of the foldable iPhone, along with the new iPhone 19 Pro series and an iPhone 19 Slim or Air, with an even larger display than before. Basically, Apple is thinking about more phones, released more often, with some arriving in spring and others in fall. The E-series could become an annual spring product. And the foldable iPhone, which hasn't even launched yet, might get a yearly update cycle like the rest of the lineup.
Is Samsung finally fixing its software problems before the Galaxy Z Flip 7 even launches? That's what recent leaks suggest. After the rocky rollout of One UI 7, with its bugs, laggy animations, and confusing features, it looks like Samsung is trying to get things right this time with One UI 8. And if everything goes as expected, the changes could make a big difference, especially for people using flip and foldable phones. One of the first things spotted in early tests of One UI 8 is smoother animations. If you've ever used One UI 7 and tried closing several apps quickly, you might have noticed the animations freeze or glitch a little. It's not a huge issue, but it can make the phone feel less polished. In One UI 8, Samsung seems to have fixed that. When you close apps quickly one after another, the animations now flow better without freezing or skipping. This might seem like a small thing, but it can make the phone feel faster and more reliable during daily use. Another interesting update is about the Now bar. If you don't know what that is, the Now bar is a small section on the screen that shows useful information like your current music, the weather, or shortcuts to settings. On the Galaxy Z Flip 6, this feature was only available on the inner screen, which didn't make much sense. The point of a flip phone is to be able to use it without opening it all the time. So why wasn't this quick info bar available on the cover screen? Well, with One UI 8, that might finally change. Samsung is reportedly working on bringing the Now bar to the outer display, which means you'll be able to check info and control apps with a simple tap without opening the phone. There's also a strong chance that One UI 8 could launch along with the new Galaxy Z Flip 7 and Galaxy Z Fold 7, possibly as early as July during Samsung's next Unpacked event. That would be a big step forward, especially considering how slow and delayed the One UI 7 and Android 15 rollouts were. If Samsung can launch its new software alongside its next-gen foldables, it could show users that it's back on track. Speaking of new hardware, there are a few things to expect with the Z Flip 7. Leaks suggest the phone might have a slightly bigger cover screen, a new Exynos 2500 processor made by Samsung, and a larger battery to help it last longer. The charging speed, though, is likely to stay the same as before. Meanwhile, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 could come with Qualcomm's new Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 Elite processor, be thinner than the last model, and possibly even feature a 200-megapixel main camera, which would be a big jump in photo quality. Even though things have been a bit slow in the foldable phone market, many experts think that could change soon. There are even rumors that Apple might release a foldable iPhone by the end of 2026. That means Samsung doesn't have much time to waste if it wants to stay ahead. Software improvements like those in One UI 8 could be the key to keeping users happy and loyal. Of course, there's always the chance that One UI 8 won't be ready in time, and Samsung might go with a One UI 7.1 update instead. But whether it's a full version or just a point release, the early signs suggest that Samsung is focusing on the right things: better performance, smoother animations, and smarter use of hardware like the cover screen. These kinds of small updates can make everyday use more enjoyable, and they show that Samsung is listening. What do you think about the upcoming changes in One UI 8 and the new foldables? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more tech updates.